Hello everyone, welcome to the GDG London podcast. So here with me Sumit. So Sumit,
Well,
tell me what is the story today?
we are doing multiple podcasts, and I saw the list of people who are coming through. Amazing, amazing, amazing. So I think today we are going to hear something interesting from Nikita. Is that
Yes.
yeah, yeah?
Yes,
And
let me introduce Nikita. Let me bring her on the stage and then we can talk about Nikita. I think in Flutter world, Flutter girl and she's a community manager. She used to be that. Let's bring her Nikita on
let's
the
hear
stage.
that out from her. Yeah, so she
Yeah.
does so many amazing stuff. Yeah,
Hi Nikita, how are you?
Hi,
Thanks for
Renuka.
coming to this platform for us to talk about your story. So, yeah, Nikita, if you can introduce yourself, that would be really great.
All right. So my name is Nikita, and I'm from India. I'm currently the technical program manager for the search team at Google. Prior to this, I was the community manager for various community-led programs for Google, including GDG on campus, Flutter community. So you may have heard about me from there. Maybe you interacted me via some community forums or came across my blogs. Passionate about programming and helping women grow. I really want to thank Renuka for giving me a chance, a platform to share my passion and connect with aspiring women developers who are listening to me today.
what I can hear from what you said is giving back to the community. So you've been part of the community, and then now you're with us, which is another community that we try to lead. Renuka, you know her from the Flutter world. Yeah, so you were saying the Flutter angel. Yeah, so who's actually helping a lot of Flutter developers, and now you moved into search. Is that what you said? Yeah.
Yes, currently in
Yeah.
the Google search team.
Yeah, and could you just go through some part of the journey that you took to get here? Any obstacles that you faced during that?
Sure. So, I graduated a couple of years ago from one of the esteemed colleges in Pune. It was a women only college. And when my parents enrolled me in this college, I was a little bit hesitant because there was no diverse audience, there was no representation along with me. And that made me a little uncomfortable because that's not how I grew up. I went to a co ed school, I had a lot of male friends, so I thought maybe hanging out with women is going to be boring and it's all going to be about gossips, makeup, which I'm not actually about. That being said, it took me some time to get familiar to the environment and then also like engineering because from the beginning, I always wanted to do something in my career which impacts people. I always wanted to do something which makes others' life better. And I thought medicine was one such profession where I could share my passion. That being said, it took me some time to get familiar with the environment and the education background that I am pulled into now, which is engineering. Slowly, eventually, I saw that women are equally passionate about computers. They equally like computers, breaking machines. They equally like, solving interesting programming challenges, which was not something you may always hear about when you're interacting with people around you. Like, imagine, close your eyes for a second, and I say there's someone programming, and you would always imagine a man who's programming in front of you, even if you're a female. So that stereotype or that stigma that I had at the back of my mind started changing eventually. And then when I saw women were so ambitious about their career, it did motivate me to get more into the world of programming. And then I lived in a world where I saw that a lot of women felt that they were on the short hand of the stick, which means they did not have enough opportunities to learn and grow. Many of them thought they would be getting married as soon as they graduate. Many of them came from rural backgrounds where they did not have enough exposure and support to what they were aspiring for. This is where my journey for the community started. I started helping my peers with whatever possible ways I could. And I knew that that was not the end of my journey, and this was just the beginning. From there, I started organizing workshops, started building communities in my campus that can help women grow. As soon as I graduated, I did not want to get busy with just my office work. So I wanted to always discover opportunities for myself and see how I can help more and more women in this professional world. So I became a part of the GDG Pune community. Prior to this, I was just a core team member to the GDSC, or so called as GDG on campus program. I was not a fellow ambassador, but I was just contributing there. And while I was in college, I also contributed a lot to the Python world. So I was a PyLadies organizer, and I did get a lot of exposure and opportunities being a part of that group as well. Continuing my work after graduation, I started contributing to the communities, which is GDG and Women Tech Makers Pune. I organized workshops, mentorship sessions for fellow women, and I saw that there was more and more appetite, not just with women, but men also need similar support. And this is where I understood that we need to be more inclusive about the events that we are planning, the workshops that we are organizing. Here onwards, I started taking a stride, and I wanted to see what do professionals do in their life. If I were to do the work that I'm doing currently voluntarily, and I become a professional here, what does my journey look like? And right when I thought about it, I got an opportunity to contribute to a couple of Google developer programs as a community manager. So it started with the Google's Explore ML machine learning program. Thereafter, I started contributing to the GDG program as a community manager. I led the Flutter meetups in India and organized some global campaigns. And then I continued my journey as a GDSC or GDG on campus program community manager. And when I started doing all of this, I saw that people at every category or every persona, every age group needs different type of help, which is something that still needs attention, which is still not solved. And hence, although I've changed my career ladder a little bit and I've moved to technical program management, in my free time I try to join initiatives like Renuka is driving today, to help fellow developers learn and grow.
This is the story. Like everyone knows the Nikita as a community manager for the Google, but how she come up here, that is what we want to show in our this podcast, that what is a journey. So Nikita, you were very active in the community, but how you landed the as a community manager at Google, because Google is a brand, right? And everyone, like a woman, I feel every woman is use Google day to day life, like everything whatever you need, you just Google it, right? So to getting a Google job, it's a dream, right? Many women has a dream. And how you got it in that job, and how you can tell the other woman that how they can also dream about the Google jobs, and how they can achieve that kind of stuff, because you already been to that. So
All right, this is a good question, and than me, you should be asking my mom, who's seen my journey very closely. But let me take a step back here. So, when I was in college, and as I mentioned, I was not as passionate about engineering, and then eventually I got very passionate about this space. I had fellow seniors like Shreya and Radhika, who were the fellow Google Developer Student Clubs ambassadors in my college. That program was formerly called as GSA, Google Student Ambassador Program. And when I interacted with them, I saw that they had so much wisdom and they had so much knowledge to share, that set my role model for myself, that this is where I want to go. And until I actually started contributing to the Google programs formally or professionally, I had a mobile wallpaper which says Google is my dream company, and that did not change for 7 years because I had my dreams in front of me. And the reason I kept it in front of me was whenever I see my phone, which is more frequent than you should always be doing,
yeah.
I wanted to remind myself this is your dream and this is where you need to work towards. That being said, how did I prepare myself? So, firstly, I would say be passionate about what you do. You will always derive the necessary skill set, and the internet is full of knowledge and tutorials that can help you land into your dream role. But what you really need to figure out is, what do you really want to do as an individual? What do you really care about to solve as a human? And as long as you have those answers in front of yourself, you will be able to identify your roadmap very clearly. In my case, for example, my roadmap was I wanted to help more and more developers. That being said, I started contributing to the community. I started gaining the confidence that is required to lead a large community of thousands and 10 thousands of developers. I also started talking to a lot of developers to understand what they are working on, what do they really care about, what is that the industry is looking for. That prepared me to gain the technical skill set required in my role. And in my current role as a technical program manager, again, my passion hasn't changed, but one thing I realized while I was doing my MBA was the world is not organized. There's so much ambiguity, there's so much of chaos, and this is something I want to solve for in a more structured and formal manner. And hence I picked up something which is technical program management, so that I can bring structure, I can bring alignment, and I can bring in formal project management techniques to make the awesome solutions that you're using as Google consumers even more robust and even more efficient. And that's where I started preparing more about understanding what does it take to become a program manager at Google. What are the skill sets required? For example, I thought that maybe taking a formal MBA degree is going to help me more, because then I interact with professionals who are more experienced than me in this domain. I get a lot of free assignments to solve, which may be a little bit tiring and exhausting. But then that gives me the experience I need to land in my dream role. And along with that, also discovering on the internet few Coursera courses that help me prepare my skill set and background to land into the role of technical program manager with the search team.
Oh, amazing.
This is very inspiring, and really understood like the focus that you had. That one day, if possible, we'd like to see that mobile phone that you have, which has says "Google is my dream." Yeah, and you have that thing around. You were you had a focus. You want to pursue a goal. You had good mentors. You mentioned, yeah. So and some people are like, I meet a lot of people out there who are like, okay, I need to get to some place, but they have this thing where they're kind of hesitant or they're shy. Yeah, it looks like you actually had a goal, and then how did you reach out to and make sure that you actually talk to the right people, so that they can guide you? Like, all these things, I can, when hearing your journey, there are places where you couldn't have done it. You're like, okay, that's fine. I can do my day-to-day life, wake up and enjoy. But I think you actually approached in a different way. So could you tell us some experiences, like how did that, so breaking the traditional, waking up, just going out, to actually saying, what, and have a goal, which you said it on the mobile phone. Even that is a thing which I have never seen. Like, I have a wall which has a goal, but like putting it just in your hand. Yeah. So do you have anything to share there? Like, how did you navigate it through your role models, breaking that imposter syndrome? Like, I don't want to do this, or maybe it's too much of a hard work.
Yeah, definitely. And being an introvert, it's even more difficult. I have specifically seen this imposter syndrome more with women. They are a little bit more shy when it comes to asking for opportunities or seeking for what they want. And this is where we start seeing the gap starting from, and then it eventually grows even more through various stages of professional growth ladder. And that's not where I blame women. It's more of a cultural thing where we've been taught, especially in India, to settle for what you've been provided with than complaining. You've been told to solve problems than, asking for more. And this is where a lot of women struggle, in my honest opinion. But regardless, answering your question on how I reached out to the right mentors and how I approach them. So, firstly, I'm an introvert, so I was really, really hesitant in like talking to people, and I still feel that's still there in me when I'm around people. I still have that fear in mind, or I'm nervous at the back of my mind. But then I always have seen that talking to more and more people is going to make you wise. So socializing is the best way if you want to gather wisdom, because every person you talk to has some experience to share, some advice to give, and as you decide on how you want to mold it in your life, it is going to be impactful in different ways. That being said, like I mentioned, in my college, I had really good mentors like Shreya and Radhika, who were my inspiration. I followed the work that they did. At that time, maybe I was not as aware on what kind of questions I should be asking them, and maybe I did not know if I would be able to even step up in the industry, because no one in my family worked in the IT industry background. My parents were not in the IT industry background, so you have lack of exposure. You don't know what the industry means. And whenever I used to go to these meetups organized by the GDG community and meet with professionals, I would feel like I met some superstars. I met some heroes in the community, which I always wanted to meet, because I never knew who works in the IT industry and what do they look like. So that was kind of an experience for me in the community, and I used to talk to a lot of people, ask them what projects they are working on, share what I have been working on, and then eventually that helped me validate if I'm going on the right in the right direction. So at the early stage, it was not a direct mentorship that I got, but I would look up to people, follow what they are doing, share what I have been doing, and then get or seek validations on the work that I have been doing. It's like, hey, hi, Renuka, I'm working on a machine learning project. And Renuka says, oh, wow, that's brilliant. Can you share more about it? Then I know that, hey, this is something that people are interested in, versus you say that, hey, I'm working on a web project, and then Santosh just walks out. Then I know that, this may not be as interesting for the industry. As I grew and I was in the industry, I really had good mentors, including men who played a very crucial part of my journey. There was Biswa, who always mentored me like an elder brother, who would be very patient with me in helping me navigate every step in the industry, even though I was new and I would make a lot of mistakes. He would be patient with me, take me around for walks, and just tell me that, things are going to be okay. This is how you need to navigate these type of situations. And that doesn't mean they expected me to change in any manner. Rather, they always said, ask for what you want, say what you don't feel is comfortable, which actually started boosting my confidence. And this is where, as a female, I really questioned the background and the learnings that I had as a female, which was like always being told, you shouldn't be complaining as a female. You shouldn't be actually, as a female, you shouldn't be speaking out things that make you uncomfortable, or you shouldn't be demanding. That changed because a man himself comes and tells you that, hey, why are you silent when things are not right or appropriate according to you? That's going to make you feel frustrated. Speak up for yourself. And that gave me the confidence. And then I would say I also had women who uplifted me as a woman. So a lot of female also feel that, women don't support each other. But in my case, I had mentors like Tanvi, who actually mentored me, who taught me not just the professional skills, but overall skills that you require to survive in this industry, which also helps me in my current role. So in terms of how did I approach them, I always did not have the right questions to ask, and maybe we still don't know what questions we want to ask if you want to have someone mentor you or guide you. But regardless, I would always identify the areas where I feel I'm lacking. So doing a self analysis, a self reflection kind of activity that helps you understand how you're proceeding, how the world is seeing you, and where you need to improve yourself, were the questions that I would go back and ask my mentors. Hey, I feel like I want to do this, can you tell me how can I approach this? And then when I would ask Biswa or Tanvi on how I could approach on these scenarios, not always they had the right answer with them, but then they would connect me with fellow people who can guide me in that direction. So really glad that they did not just influence me thinking that they have all the answers, but they also made sure they connected me to the right folks, which gave me enhanced exposure and experience that I was looking for.
Amazing. I feel I have one question, Nikita, then here, because you are talking about all this stuff. So, what is the role of GDG in your life? You are a community manager and all this stuff, but because me and Sumit are GDG organizer, right? And we are also doing so many events every month. and people are coming, attending the events. But for myself, the GDG, connecting with the GDG group or Google group changed my complete life. So what is the GDG role in your life? How that affect your life is as such, basically, the GDG community, basically.
Right. So I would, people ask me this question very oftenly, what is the role of communities in your life? And I would say everything that I am today is because of communities. So if you look at my journey, I actually got exposed to the industry from the community. I actually started acquiring the skill sets that I needed because of the people I met in the community. I got the confidence to represent myself because of the community. I had a formal start in my career as a professional because of the community. In fact, the first job that I had was through a network that I made as a part of the community. So even before I started contributing to the Google developer communities formally, I actually worked for two startups, and those were from the networks I made as a part of community. So I would say communities is everything. And if I were to advise people who are a part of the community on how they can make the most out of this world, there are two paths. Either you are a member or a volunteer, or you are an organizer. For members, I would say talk to as many people as you want. Do not hesitate. You may not always land into the wrong examples. So being an introvert, you may find it difficult, or you may not have had the right experiences in the past, which may protect you from talking to people. But that's not always going to be the same experience. Trust me, I've been to so many community meetups. I have enjoyed talking to so many developers. So every developer you talk to may have something or the other to share with you that you were looking for. Um, and as a community organizer, or as a volunteer, I would say try to explore and experiment as much as you can. Communities are a free playground for you to explore and experiment. Even if you fail, nobody is going to judge you. You're not going to be penalized, or you are not going to be questioned by anyone, because this is community work. Had you been in a formal role, people may question, like, hey, you did something wrong and you're accountable for it. But in communities, that's not the case. So may you looking for the technical confidence that you need to improvise your skill sets, or the public speaking confidence to represent what you've learned and gathered as a developer, or you need management skills that you would get as organizers. I'm sure Sumit and Renuka, both of you can underscore this point of getting that management experience despite being developers as a part of the community. So community has endless opportunities. Only you need to identify what am I here for, and everything else follows as a part of the community groups.
It's amazing. This is the tips I think everyone should look out to. Basically, people are coming to the community. They thought it's only gathering, but it's not. It's you have to get so many new skills, learn the new skills from this community. And this is what I think people should admire for the community, because we are running so many community events, and then we feel like that, yes, I got so much confidence when I am going to the event which is I organize myself. And that give you the boost the confidence when people come to you and say that, okay, it was a really great event, and the whatever hard work you put it for to organize that event is completely done. You get that satisfaction. Okay, we have done something nice, so people will get some benefit from that, basically. So
Yep.
definitely.
Yep. No, I think it's that thing where a lot of people think that they're going to actually go to a session and just talk and listen and come back. But it's almost like navigating. It's a new place, so sometimes it's literally you don't even know the place you go to. So the moment you enter the door, you have this thing like, okay, this is newness, yeah. But I think what from what you are saying, Nikita, is like you're kind of again every step of the way breaking the barrier, talking to people, which could also help in your professional life, navigating through people. People is the most difficult thing, like having that bond, understanding what they're trying to say, working together. So being a part of the community or even contributing back, it is a two-way street. So go and at the same time also give back. So this is all amazing stories. But is there any things that were obstacles for you? It's like you have to actually break that barrier now. It's like, you know what, you went back and you're like, no, I think this is so you moved away from medical. Yeah, that's what you wanted to do initially, and then like, okay, I'm going towards tech, which is new. And then you had all these opportunities where you had good mentors in your life. You actually then also did not stay home, you went out in the community. This is too much, or any obstacles that was in front of you and you're like, let me just break through. And how did that happen?
Yeah, definitely. The biggest obstacle for me was, as I was mentioning earlier, is lack of exposure to the industry. Given my parents or nobody in my family has worked in the IT industry, that was my biggest obstacle. To step your toe in a world which is so big and disconnected from you was almost like you're going from Earth to some other planet,
Mm.
because then you don't know. When I compare myself with my friends who have their parents working in the IT industry, they're a lot more confident because they know how this industry operates. They know what is it that it takes you to survive in this world. But for me, that was not the case. The second obstacle I had was an obstacle that I created for myself partially, and an obstacle that was with me was, um, maybe my family could afford a laptop for me, but perhaps it was half of me who did not want to get it from my parents, and the other half of me was because, maybe my parents could not give me the best machine that I could work with. So there were so many workshops. There were so many workshops as a speaker, as an attendee, where I had to borrow laptops from my friends and then deliver sessions or attend sessions which were organized in the community. And that continued until I had my first 2 or 3 salaries. That was when I could actually afford a machine for myself. So that was another barrier for me. Perhaps if I had a better machine at home, maybe I could have performed a little more faster at the start of my career, or maybe that made me a little bit more smart and confident on how do you find answers for yourself when you don't have everything. Um, so that was the second obstacle, and the third was actually identifying what you want to do in the long term. So my mentor would always ask me, Biswa would always ask me, where do you see yourself from now in the next 5 years? And I would be like, why would you think about the next 5 years? I don't even remember what I had for lunch 2 hours ago, and you're speaking about imagining your life 5 years ahead. And that too at your early career stage, you really don't know what you want to do. You're just happy that you found a job in the industry. You're just happy that you're working with the best minds in the industry. And now you're asking, what do you want to do in the next 5 years? But that forced me to challenge myself, not making myself comfortable, but there were obstacles. For example, my community journey was almost 6 years, and then migrating to something which is not a community role was another obstacle for me to get out of the comfort zone I was in. I wouldn't actually tag this under obstacles, but this was more of my journey where I was in an uncomfortable spot and then I moved to something, or I was in a comfortable spot and then I challenged myself to be into a new domain itself. So this was not necessarily an obstacle, but this was an uncomfortable spot for me, definitely, to move on from.
No, I think that is so inspiring in the sense that you went to a community event where you didn't even had right equipments, and then you like, because you have a fear there, no, that you may fail because you don't have a right equipment. Am I prepared enough? But you actually overcame that. Anything that you are currently reading or listening to inspire yourself? Maybe coming
Yes,
towards the end.
this is something I have been addicted to recently. I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos around the socio-economic challenges faced by different types of people. These could be women who are forced to do something that they didn't want to get into, or this could be something about young professionals who did not have enough exposure, not just in the IT industry, but in the industry itself. Imagine people coming from the rural background. They did not know like what does the urban life look like, and then the obstacles they came through, and then how they navigated those. So I have been trying to follow and listen to a lot of inspiring people on the internet who can inspire me every day to be thankful for what I have, and look up to them every day to give me the motivation that, hey, it's not easy for anyone, but everybody have found their way in some way or the other, right? From your parents to people on the internet. And that's something I have been following a lot on YouTube lately.
Amazing. Like this is her story is really inspired many people. Like not only the woman, but like the students who are just like doesn't have the right proper kind of structure right now with them. They don't have a laptop, but they should dream a big. They can achieve if they think that they want to be like a. They should also have the Google photo on their mobile now, or whatever company they are targeting or whatever industry they are targeting. I think this is a really inspired story, Nikita. Thank you so much for sharing this amazing story with us and inspiring the others, basically. And that is what we were looking for from this podcast series. So, thank you so much for giving your invaluable time with us and sharing your story.
Thank you so much, Sumit and Renuka, for having me here today. It was a wonderful opportunity for me to share my experiences and inspire fellow developers to dream more and achieve more in their world.
Thank you.
Thank you.